30-minute session for clients. So I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, so this is a follow-up session. I'm going to put links in the description to previous sessions I've done with this client. I am so excited to connect with you again. Thank you so much for the opportunity. All right, I'm going to read your goals and we'll get started. Okay. Hey, Abby, can we have a healing style session with the Elohim with a strong focus on the crown chakra? Okay. This is really interesting. I mean, my initial experience is you're in the process of making a breakthrough. There's some density and some depth to it. The Elohim, we've connected with this on Patreon, was incredible high vibe energy, like Holy Spirit style stuff and the element of fire, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. So I cannot wait to reconnect with the Elohim for you and focus that on your crown chakra. And maybe we can discover more about the breakthrough, or at least get you there, right? Okay, I'm going to get in the zone here. Man, I feel like I'm nervous. So I'm trying to understand, what is it about your energy? Are you nervous for this breakthrough? Are you nervous about what this experience is going to be like? I'm just going to chill this whole thing down, like chill it out, make it so chill. We're going to make it cool as a cucumber. Relax. Yeah, I mean, I'm walking into a lot of nervous energy. I'm just letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. And it's kind of like little seeds. And there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of these, and they have little tufts of like cotton ball on them. I'm just letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. I just keep doing that. But for some reason, this is chilling things out. I mean, do you need to be in a refrigerator? Because something about the word chill, it really works for you. But it doesn't feel cold in here. It feels more relaxed, more laid back, more fun. Not taking things too seriously while allowing a serious experience to happen without being nervous about it, you know? Because what if you know what's coming next, and then the aspects of you that know are kind of resisting the transition, which is basically a rebirth into a higher vibrational presence. And it's kind of natural for the ego to do this like weird resisting process. It's like an inevitable event here. So when we relax it down, it's completely and utterly safe. And when you want to tune into something like the Elohim Collective, man, we're talking about high vibes. Like inconceivably high vibes for an ego, you know? We're going to get there. We just have this initial step, which is basically just an energy space of, I mean, I want to call it reconditioning. I don't know why I would use that word, but I kind of see, okay, you have a professional who works with infectious diseases, and they have this like ultra suit on when they go in to touch these things in a freezer box. type setting, like a freezer lab or something. I don't know. These are the things, these are the images that are coming to me. And now we're working. Okay, I'm done with my job for today. And then we have to go into these different compartments in order to properly remove this suit. And then you have to go through this like shower in order to rinse all this off before you can get to this next layer and this next layer. And now you can finally leave work for the day. And so we're in this like reconditioning chamber, reconditioning your energy so that you can transition. You can go through the next door, and then the next door, and the next door. So now you can get on with your life as this new you, this newly cleansed, purified, ready to go you. I feel like I am going through the door of your own ego. The resistance chamber. All right, I'm going to let everything hang out, and we're just going to set it over there. And then I'm going to just go slingshot way over there, and I just want to go just to the Elohim Collective. That's it. Just go straight there. And then we'll come circulate back. Oh no, they're not going to let me yet. I gotta go back to the reconditioning chamber, which is like working through a strange sphere that has many cracks in it. And it has to do with your third eye, it has to do with your ego as we work our way up to the crown. Maybe I'm just wanting to skip ahead and then go back and then merge the past with the future with the present. Maybe I'm just doing too many things too fast. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So this is the next conversation. Okay. Now maybe this is you talking to yourself here, but it's kind of like in the third eye, in the strange cracked sphere, in the ego, in the mind. All right. In the multitudes of chambers of reconditioning, in the chill out zones. There really aren't any infectious diseases in here, but there's, for some reason, that idea comes up. There's this conversation. I mean, it's a conversation with self. And it's kind of like an eye roll, a bah humbug. It feels like a boring life. Will I ever make it to something more extraordinary than this? Feels like a very long time. I feel like I'm running in place. I feel like saying blah, 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 blah. Day in, day out, running in place, blah, 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 life, blah, 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 life. Blah, blah, blah. That's what I gotta do something about that frequency. I'm gonna go get sucked straight into it as deep as we can go. I mean, I'm gonna feel as blah as I possibly can here. This is the next doorway, okay? Sometimes you got to get sucked into that, okay? Just get sucked into it. It's sad. It's depressing. It's disappointing. Like, life is about as impressive as trying to work together with a wall. I feel like I'm an animated person working with a freaking wall. That is how fun life can be. I see myself like Nordic track style, the cross-country skiing, and I'm just doing a Nordic track thing, although I'm out in this wilderness, but I'm going nowhere. So there's the paralleling of something more profound, but never really getting to it, and I'm just simply on a Nordic track, cross-country skiing in my basement or something. Walking in place. I asked the question, is this some kind of bad dream or is this reality? You know, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go deeper, 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 deeper. Come on, let's do it. Oh, yeah. In this deeper place, which is so funny, there's lots of Hershey's Kisses, but they aren't edible. They're like little Goombas. They're little like squish piles of brown with faces on them, and then they get kind of like gyrate and then they bounce. And there's like communities of them in here. It's like a little poop place. There's like lots of poop emojis, but nobody's smiling, you know. They're just like, they're gonna jump. They're gonna jump. Oh, they did it. This place is way worse than blah, blah, blah. Okay, that vibrationally, it's that bad. But for me, it's great. Because it's cool. Like, who would have thought, you know? Who would have thought this is beneath the surface, you know? And this is part of this, like, sphere of the ego, of the mind, of the third eye, of the cracks that we're working our way through in order to mend and heal, because we're moving you interdimensionally. And this is the Elohim, is the manifester of this miracle, right? But you truly want to go from the Nordic track experience in the basement to the real full-fledged mountainous regions of snow and trees and the breath that you can see, you know, like you're really wanting to transition to something more majestic, but everything in life is just the day-to-day rhythm. Like, how do you bend the stick of that reality into what you're really hungering for, you know? Good news is, as we go deeper and deeper, I mean, I'm in your mind, but I'm actually working through like heart and solar plexus, sacral chakra, root. Like, I'm actually working through lower chakras simultaneously. I'm not allowed to introduce you to the Elohim that's here, because a part of this is meant to be that sensation of I feel like I am meant to describe it like this. Not what I intended to say, but they show me a snow globe and you are inside of it. And you think that this world is just the snow globe world, but really you're on the mantle of a much bigger picture. And you're not feeling that connection with the bigger picture, and you're not able to see it, you're not able to enter into it, and you're always encased in the snow globe, and this is a small, small world. It's not a small world because you're running into that person you haven't seen in 20 years or whatever. It's a small world because it's a very boring world. But here, there's cute little Goombas. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, who would have thought, you know? All right, guess I gotta stay in the vibration of Bah Humbug. The Elohim is here. How do you feel the Elohim here? How do you feel that? So we're gonna go really deep. I mean, we're gonna make this so, like, unbearable. I mean, let's go and make it really, really bad. All right, we're gonna make it really unbearable, because the deeper we go into this layer, as we get to the root, you know, like when we reach the bedrock of this layer, now we can't go any deeper than this. We've reached the bottom of the pit of boredom. So once we heal that pit, which isn't bottomless, okay, then we neutralize that. We start to neutralize everything, and it helps to so totally why do they keep wanting me to use the word recondition? I mean, we're reconditioning your whole psychological perspective. I mean, we're changing you. We're turning you, transforming you, reconditioning you. Okay. Now this is the next phase. You ever imagine yourself trying to be Jesus, or like walking through the desert 40 days and 40 nights, like walking through an endless array of never ending the same? I think we all can say we could relate to this idea, and life can feel this way. We're going to go through that in real life in the energy world, okay? So I'm going to create a time space of eternity where you'll never reach the end of a very long desert, okay? So that's the hell that you're swimming in here. So when we choose to really acknowledge it, really full-fledged embrace it, stop trying to overcome it, I suppose, but just get so deep into that, that's all there is, was, and ever will be, then you get actually set free from it, okay? Believe it or not, that's how this stuff works. Oh yeah, you're turning into a Goomba. But it's worse, okay? You're turning into just a squish pile I mean, you're not even a puddle. You're like a squishy pile in the middle of a desert of forever, and you'll never leave. And what's interesting is you're going through incredible transformations inside yourself, which aren't experienced externally at this time. Because at this time, you need to do these breakthroughs inside yourself, going through the eternity of this sensation of boredom that doesn't really exist. It only exists right now because you have to have access to that energy to go through the transformations within in order to access the external reality that you're actually wanting to experience, okay? It's like, I swear to God, you have to, with anything in life, if you really want to reach a goal, it's almost like you have to give something up to get to something you want. Like, imagine you want to climb to the top of a mountain. You're going to have to give time and energy. You're going to have to face fear. You're going to have to probably work out a lot, right? You got to have the equipment. It might require a lot of money. So you're going to have to give in order to create the value of that moment that you're wanting to get to. So in life, there's going to be these like giving moments, which might feel like hardship, but you're actually giving into the equation of the success. Okay? So really, this vibrational experience here of we're going through the eternity of the desert that you'll never leave, you know, this hell is actually the gift we're giving into the gift of internal transformation, because it's that agonizing, and there's no way out but in. No way out but in, okay? Then you go in, and 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 then you beg for it to stop, and then you go in, and then you go in, and then you beg for it to stop until you just don't care anymore. And then everything you realize was always just you. It was always just you. And once you come to that epiphany, now you never need to go there quite like that ever again, because you completed that level in the game. Life is so exciting, you know? It is. It's so great. Okay. We will get you through this. I don't know why this is so funny. It is, though. It is. It really is. Okay. It's probably because I understand it so deeply, and I know what this feeling is, and I know how, like, absolutely psychologically horrible this is. But it's so messed up that you have to go deep into it in order to realize it was you all along, in order to ascend beyond it. And why do we do this? Because we are transforming the something that's on the inside, the soul journey, right? So that we can have external experiences. So you give to get to the top of the mountain, and now you breathe in the fresh air of your success, right? Or that thing you wanted to achieve, that you wanted to have, that experience, you know? So is this hell, or is this the process? And it just feels like this sometimes, you know? Oh, I'm supposed to tell you this. I've had this epiphany because, I mean, I've been through this before many times. And it's almost like, and you guys, you know, think about this if you've ever had this happen in your life too, but okay, I have very distinctive memories of going through extreme phases of suffering. Like, it just sort of hits, and then you feel sucked into it as though this might just be the rest of your life. And it could last a week, it could last months, it could last years, and there could be overlapping versions of this. So you get through one only to enter into another one beneath the surface of another one, as you're also having successes from some of the other ones in there. But what you're leading to is the next achievement, the next ascension of that segment, okay? But I have very distinctive times where I remember telling myself every single night before bed, am I going to make it through this? Because it almost felt like my whole body was being squished by an invisible bulldozer, and I was being crushed. My soul, and thus my soul being crushed, felt like every bone and muscle tissue, every emotion, everything was being crushed. Every single day, I felt like I was suffocated and dead as I was walking through life, okay? Every single day. Until one point, I wake up, and it's like it disappears. Bam, done. And it's like, Okay, what was that and why? But I felt like I slingshotted so hardcore that I was almost hysterically happy. You could say, well, that just sounds like, you know, what is it? It's a depression, but it's bipolar, like where you go into a deep place and then you go into a happy place and then you go into a deep place and then you go into a happy place. So in my journey, I've had moments where I've gone like sunk and swallowed up in the bottomless pits of hell, only to slingshot into happy places. But then I also go through extremely long spans of feeling the same way, which could be monotone with moments of joy and sadness, like day-to-day human life, you know. But when you're sensitive, when you're legitimately sensitive, you go through this and you feel this, you know what I mean? I mean, you feel this whole flipping process. Okay, we're gonna get you through this. Elohim and I are working together, even though Elohim is completely and utterly invisible. It is not invisible, okay? That's how reality works. Where's our angels? I can't see them. I can't feel them. They're invisible. Oh no, they are not invisible. Trust me. Am I in the snow globe or am I in the next bigger reality of a snow globe? Why is this so funny? Are you going through something like a weird hysteria? Because I feel like I'm borderline hysteria in a deep place and a wondering place. Am I ever going to reach there? I'm ready to ascend and I want to chill out, you know. Okay. Where are we at in all this? Goomba pile. Internal work. Getting swallowed up by the desert of forever. And getting pooped down into the next eternity of hell. All this is just simply resistance to the infinite love and light that's already there. This is ego stuff. This is the natural ascension process. But it's all in here. It's all in your mind, but it does impact somehow the heart and the solar plexus, I feel, in the sacral and the root. It does impact these lower chakras simultaneously, but I feel its existence here. Almost like we're in an illusionary time dimension. But we have to move through it because the ego is afraid it can't allow itself to expand to the next level until it goes through a phase of basically an ultimate breakdown and death experience. Okay, I'm going to push time out. I'm going to step out of this again, and then I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to go to Elohim Collective, and I'm going to say, hey, do I have to keep going into the depths and the depths, or are we ready? Oh, they create a door. And the golden handle. And they're talking about true, sensational, what could be the word freedom? Is freedom a Goomba pile eternity in the desert? Is that freedom? They're showing me invisible doorways that you're moving through. And oddly enough, it's like, don't rush it. In order to have this epiphany on the vibrational level that you're wanting to access it, is going to create a momentous, transformative moment. It's almost like when life gets so tasteless, just enjoy how tasteless it can become. And make note of it. And when it's no longer tasteless, remember that life goes through doorways. One thing I've been seeing periodically is they aren't wasps / bees, because they do have some yellow stripes on a wasp-like body. They're kind of a amber colored with bright yellow stripes. But they're more like a, I don't know, there's some kind of flying insect, but they aren't any kind of bee or wasp. They don't have a stinger. They have sharp teeth though. And they have like a bluish metallic sheen to them. And black. And I've been seeing them kind of on and off throughout. I'm gonna put Goomba pile close to insect like it's a fly that wants to eat this pile of SHIT. Do you want to eat this Goomba pile? No, it says. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that. I don't want the desert. I don't want to have anything to do with this. What do you want? And it says that it lives in the intersecting lines between dimensions. And it doesn't like it when people notice. It likes to stay in the in-between lines of dimensions. I say, well, why do you think I saw you? And why are you in the in-between lines as I'm working through this client session? Obviously, there's no coincidence. So now it stands and it faces me and has a weird, like, horn of a mouth that sticks out. It has razor blades inside of that horn. You wouldn't want to put your hand in there. It'd be like putting it in a garbage disposal. But I see it alters its dynamic. Like it takes shape. It's like it takes itself apart like puzzle pieces of shapes. It reconstructs itself. And it wants to represent a man for me because I am familiar with that human look. It has a blue gem in its third eye. It has very lazy eyes, like it's way too suave that it won't even open its eyes all the way, like it would ever be excited, but it never really close its eyes, like it's sleepy. Its eyes are just always kind of lazy and suave looking, like his he just never opens his eyes really big. And I take apart this and I turn it into a heart shape. And then I press a button in the center and I reconstruct it again into light. And I see the fly, insect looking thing, kind of hanging out by a black line over there. And I crush this. It's not necessarily light, even though it kind of looks like it. I take it into my hands, I crush it. It just becomes a powdery dust. And this powdery dust is a freaking problem. It's like it is an infection. It's like it's a drug or an addiction. It is not good. I'm just going to have you look at it for a time. And this insect watches from the line. And I say, what is your choice? Because it's up to you now to shift into a new state of balance by choice. It's almost like we had to get to the root of something deep, 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 deep that creates this like very deep response of lifelessness. This is not life, this is just dust. You've got more life inside of you than this dust. In fact, I think this insect came to show you this for a reason. And I see you stuck between many lines now. And the Elohim Collective is asking you to do not be afraid to allow yourself to feel deeply loved by something beyond imagination. Because only you can create this kind of spider web, you know? The sphere in your mind that has all these cracks in it. That's ready to transform into some higher vibrational existence for you. You have to choose that for yourself. At all the subconscious layers as well. And to embrace that desire. To embrace that not even as a desire, but as an existence. Experience a like bubbly energy that is dense, and you're kind of squishing out of it. They're kind of like big grapes, but they're very bulbousy, squishy energies. And then I just see you like a pimple on the inside just getting squished out. How about a splinter? A splinter sounds better. So you're just like getting squished out of this material. And you just got swallowed down, 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 down. Lost yourself down in those depths. Only to self-realize and go profoundly beyond it. Only to have that experience in your pocket as a place you've been, and a place you've conquered, and a place you've gone way beyond. So now this is where you're kind of rocket shipping out of everything that we've been through. It's a very long and strange path. We're letting go of this word reconditioning. We're letting go of the strange rooms and the infection and the strange outfits in the bath. Like, we're letting go of that. We're letting go of the Goombas and the blah, blah, blahs and the snow globe inside of a bigger picture. The desert of eternity. We're letting go of this strange place with the insect and the final white dust. And seeing you kind of in the center of a massively cracked sphere. Like you are in a center of a dimensional spiderweb of your own creation. Now you're rocket shipping out of all this stuff, okay? All of this heavy, dense energy stuff. Can it be that easy? Yes, it can. But not really, because you still have to move through it. And that's flipping hard. But you're doing it, you've done it. This is where I get to finally go into your crown chakra. You sealed it off on yourself for some reason. Like, I mean, we're walking up some white steps and there's a round door. And it's actually cut down the center, so it's got two sides. You just open it up and you walk in. The door's quite huge. And you're afraid to know. And you're afraid of what that might be like. And I feel it's really cold and frigid in here. And there's white coming out. I mean, it's so cold, it's like flash frozen in here. And it's all starting to thaw out, and I feel the Elohim energy is thawing this out. And it's melting it down with absolute warmth and unconditional love. And it's never ending. It's on and on and on and on and on and on forever. And it's enlightenment. Enlightenment. And now Elohim is showing the mirror of transformation. You walk through this maze of the identity of the self, of this type of experience, this suffering, really. Only to realize you are always walking in heaven. So where are you? It's almost like you have to go through this strange path, which is heavy and dense and fear-based, which is all the ego's resistance of what really is there, which is what it wants anyway. Just have to allow it for yourself. And sometimes you got to go out down these paths to learn the lesson to allow. And once the allowing happens and we've done all of that, we've risen beyond it. We've shifted our energy enough that we don't need the illusions anymore. You know what I mean? I'm going to ask you, what do you want out of your crown chakra? I'm just going to hang in here because I feel like we need a concept in here. Because there's resistance. You're bringing a sense of resistance and you have to make the decision here. What is it that you want in your crown chakra? The Elohim is softening, warming this experience, which is activating this experience. Now you create some ideas to really fill this space with what? You start creating flowing water. You start creating natural like scenes of nature and recovery, rejuvenation, refreshing air and peace. But you want to break the barrier between you, your day-to-day human walk of life, but kind of blending to I mean, it's like walking around as a human, but seeing into other dimensions and talking to alien beings at the exact same time. You want to blend those two ideas together. So you have two overlapping snow globes, basically. And I say, well, are you allowing that for yourself? Do you believe you have to try to get there, or that you already are there? And now you just need to open the window that you yourself closed the curtains on. The illumination is here. The Elohim is here. The release of that long walk has been shifted to what it always was, heavenly and abundantly what it is that you want to get out of this life. Allow that for yourself. I really want to emphasize, because the only way that you're going to be able to accomplish this, where you're just going to start seeing, I mean, walking around and just seeing another dimension as you're walking around, I mean, you're going to have to choose to acknowledge that you're already seeing it. And what that's going to feel like is going to feel like it's just your imagination. It's interesting because Joe and I were having this conversation earlier about there's no such thing as imagination. Because we would say that imagination is a false sense of reality. But the imagination is a creative space. When you close your eyes, what's in your third eye? Your imagination. So let's say there's no such thing as an imagination. Because all that is there is your access to anywhere and everywhere in the infinite universe. And so allow yourself whatever creative ideas come to you while you're taking a walk or watching TV, or you're on the phone with a credit card company or whoever, you know, you're driving your car with a cup of coffee, who knows what, right? Strange ideas will come, and next thing you know, you're looking at a blue insect, and you only saw it for half a second and just dismissed it time and time and time again until you finally acknowledge that you saw that. But how are you going to understand or interpret that you even saw that, or if that was even real? You have to acknowledge that it was real and you saw it for a reason, that everything exists for a reason. And once you give power to the existence of all things as interconnected, meaningful, magical treasures of an infinite universe, and there's no fake stuff out there. Everything has meaning inside of it. Everything has meaning inside of it. So now you can dive into that meaning. If you were to take just simply an image of something, anything you're familiar with, or you could take the blue insect that hangs out in the black lines in between dimensions, and in your own style, close your eyes and have an experience, and just choose to be like eyes staring at this thing. And then explore how it feels in your heart. Explore if you feel uncomfortable or excited or curious. You can talk to that. You can say, who are you? And wait. And acknowledge that you heard something. Or acknowledge that you heard nothing. And you can say, it didn't answer me. So its response was not to say anything at all, which is also a response. Now go touch its body. Poke it in its eyeball. Put your arm in its weird freaking trumpet-like mouth. See what happens. And you allow the experience to unfold. You just simply allow it to unfold. That's because you're having an interdimensional interaction. And it's real. Now you are blending and allowing yourself, the human, to be in the midst of what was always there, that you weren't ready to acknowledge yet because you still needed to walk through the infinite desert until you became the Goomba pile, until you became this, that, and the other thing happened only for you to rise into the crown chakra, to activate it with the Elohim, for you to start to acknowledge for yourself what was always there. You see how we're shedding the layers here? Shedding the layers. All right, I'm just going to touch your heart. Because I feel like this has been, we're working through third eye to heal lower chakras at the same time, opening and activating crown, activating your awareness, expanding your awareness. But I really want you to feel your heart and the love. And I'm placing the Elohim here in your heart and amplifying that so you can feel that for yourself, and the warmth of that, and the security and the support of that, and the enlightenment of that. You can feel it in your heart. It's not just a thought, it's an experience. It's a sensation. It's a guidance. It's a love. You don't ever have to be alone anymore. Lean on it. Allow it. Allow yourself. Allow yourself to be, exist, awaken to everything. So cool. Thank you so much for this. I feel so much meaning in my heart. It really goes to show how many dimensional realities. We go through so many dimensional realities with our emotions in everyday life in more ways than we'll ever acknowledge or put our finger on. I can imagine that this might be a little core shaking if you feel tired, or you feel a bit distant, or if you feel lost for some energetic reason. Just allow yourself to circulate through into this space of love and enlightenment, because there is always a timeline between the energy world and this type of energy, and how it absorbs into every nook and cranny of your being in order to ascend you to the next level. And sometimes you can feel a little strange in the process. Or sometimes you just feel absolutely phenomenal. So drink lots of water, okay? Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.